It gets so quiet in here.
I was humming a song in my head.
What song?
Oh, it was She Shanty from Root
Lord. Hypothetically, if we were to throw Dustin into a box, chain it up, and throw it to the bottom of the ocean, would he get out?
Well, I would be
Hypothetically, probably not.
hypothetically, probably not, and then someone would find the box and they'd be like, "What's in the box?"
That's like...
Hypothetically, he'd be Schrodinger's cat.
Damn it, I was gonna say
Does
that.
Dustin exist in the box?
He may or may not be in the box. You won't know unless you
Is
open the
he
box.
alive or not? We don't
I
know.
don't know. Dustin...
Did you open the box? Who knows? He might still be alive in there.
Hypothetically,
The box-
theory has been proven.
It's true.
It's
There
like
you go.
the box is 3 feet wide and 2 feet tall. It's like he's nothing in there without it being dead. Well, are you sure about that? John Cena, are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
Hypothetically speaking.
All hypothetical.
No.
Hello, welcome back to Clocked Out Creatures, episode 12. I'm Nolan. Who's next?
I'm Dustin.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Tangi.
We're the Windmill Kids.
Windmill?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of Hairspray.
Oh, yeah?
I'm Darling Charlene. And I'm Link.
I'm Tangi. I'm Link. Dave. I don't know. I've never seen Hairspray, actually.
Neither
I've never
have
seen
I.
that musical.
I seen
No,
clips of some of it.
naturally.
I trust that it's good. What's been going on with everyone lately? How's everyone been?
Tired.
Well,
Yeah?
Tired.
I had a toe fall off the other day. I don't know if that matters. Toenails, sorry.
Oh, okay,
Toenail.
good.
Tell I'm like, what kind of necrosis do you have?
It's all the Starbucks just flooding through my
Man,
toes.
he really is now a zombie.
I
He's
know.
falling. He's literally falling apart.
You got
I
leprosy?
quite-
My boss is a zombie.
Uh-oh.
There's
Hypothetically,
I've seen that one.
what would
It's a
you
good
do?
one.
yeah, like I saw an image where it was like
just thinking
from
of-
like anime names back in the day. It's like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece. It's like anime names nowadays is like how I ended up dying and being reincarnated into another world as the refrigerator.
I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
They're paragraphs now.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
like
no.
my
Good anime.
It's like my boss is
They're like-
literally a zombie now.
The shortest one I've seen recently is Your Lie in April, but then you see like Your Lie in April, a Summer's Eve, Your Lie in April, blah 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 blah. Just for an example.
I
Oh,
mean,
no.
there's
My
Erased.
boss's toe fell off. Yep.
Like,
Yeah, my
Erased is a good anime.
Erased.
Not gonna lie.
I've
Yeah.
never seen it. What's it about?
It is about a guy who basically has like a quote unquote superpower where he can't control it, but like time will rewind so he can save someone, and he only has one chance generally. So like it'll rewind to before, and he basically goes through and he'll save people and everything like that. And he gets stuck in time or stuck going back to like when he was 10. So he's like 29, I think. And he gets stuck. He goes back in time to when he was 10 to save. It's not really much of a spoiler because it's in like the first episode to save his mother who ends up dying. So
Huh.
yeah, it's a really good anime.
It's
Like
like
that it sends
Prisoner of
back that many.
Azkaban.
If it sends you back that many years, it's like how far back does it all get set in motion to where it was set?
Yeah,
Where's the
no.
beginning?
Yeah.
Where's the end? I just got
Oh.
done watching Endgame by the Avengers Endgame, and holy shit, the amount of
Game.
timey wimey wibbly wobbly stuff
Doesn't make
that
any
gets-
sense.
Oh no,
They don't. They ignore all of it. They ignore all of it.
Well, they ignore it
technically-
and they mention it inside.
They mention it. They throw it all out in the beginning. They're like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, I'm fine.
It's not like any of these other movies. It's like that's not how it works. It's like
Well,
Okay.
technically, the way that they described it is how quantum physics supports it.
Yeah.
Technically, like the Avengers Endgame, all the other movies are more or less just fantasy at that point.
kind of theorizing
But-
how would time travel actually
Yeah.
work.
And it was interesting, but that just makes me get a headache, like what you're talking about. It's like,
Yeah, no,
ugh.
it's like he meets like a chick before he goes back in time, and then ends up going back in time a second time because he failed the first.
oh,
And it was great. It's a good show. But like at the end, spoiler, obviously it's gonna work out
Saves
because
his
it's an
mom.
anime. But he never meets the chick.
what animes work out? I don't know what animes you're watching.
The good animes, like the Happy Go Lucky.
Oh, Happy Go. happy bullshits.
The happy animes.
Ah,
But like, you
Not
know,
like your Lie in
stuff
April.
happens, you know, things
not like your
things
Lie
are
in
good.
April.
It's a
Or
very good
Death Note.
anime.
Death Note.
I suggest you watch
Cowboy
it.
Bebop.
Everyone should watch.
Evangelion.
Everyone should watch Madoka Magica.
No.
Oh, have you seen it?
Yes.
I've never seen Madoka Magica.
It's so good.
If you watch Madoka Magica, wait until the 3rd episode.
Give it
before
3
clicking off.
episodes.
That's all we gotta say.
Don't give yourself a torturous time of trying to not get connected to.
It's 12. It's like 12 or 13 episodes. Give it 3 episodes, and if you don't like it by the end of the 3rd episode, then you're probably not gonna like the rest of it. But I've known people that they're like, I don't. This show's kind of at the 2nd episode, and by the end of the 3rd episode, they're like, we need to keep going.
Yeah.
I'm also currently watching a new anime called Claymore. It's not necessarily a new anime, but it is such a good anime. I love it so much.
Yeah,
What's that one about?
Claymore is basically there's a race of demons or demon-ish people that kill humans and eat them and everything like that, and there are claymores.
It's hot. Okay.
So these demons are called yomas, and so there are claymores which are half human, half yoma. And they're always female, and it follows the story of one of the claymores who is just trying to rise to power to, I'm not going to say that because it's a spoiler. Just watch it, and you'll find out exactly what I'm talking about. But
That sounds like a good time.
it's a really good show. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, that's the one bad thing about like shorter run series. It's like it's really hard to try to talk about anything in them because you're like it's 12 episodes, but anything I say past that
Just
doesn't happen
12
like the first episode is going to be like a massive spoiler.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one's 24 or 25.
Even then,
it
it's
was
still
25.
there's still a lot like you might be lucky if you get 2 arcs.
Okay, it's true. All right, so I'm gonna go back to Avengers real quick. You guys get the ability to time travel. You can go back anywhere. Okay, where do you go?
Me?
Where would you guys time travel to?
Do we know like how the time travel works?
You can go back. Let's say you can go back, and there would be no repercussions in the future if you mess with
so
stuff.
there's no butterfly effect of like, oh god, I just messed up with the entire human.
It's just
You're
we
not
created
gonna
an
land.
alternate universe and then we are done.
Yeah, you're not gonna land and like disappear because you like stepped on a cockroach or something or a big old bug.
Okay.
You'll be all right.
So no paradoxes are made.
Yeah, no paradoxes.
Mine's really depressing.
What's that?
I'd go back and see my dad.
Oh,
Yeah, like I said, it's really depressing.
that's sad. I was gonna
It's
say
not
something
so-
goofy. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not so much as like, like I just want to see my dad again. It's more of I want him to see the woman I've become, kind of a thing. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
It's
God
very
damn
sweet.
it.
I was gonna talk about like Thanos or something.
No,
That's a-
no.
that's
If
a
I could
good
go back
one.
in time, that's what I would do.
That's a
I
good
would
one.
probably go back to like medieval times and be like a witch doctor just because I think it'd be fun to be used as a scary like man in a hut with glasses like glass bottles and they're like
Think
Go
of, like,
back
all
to the
technology
1200s,
bring
like the-
back and just like be like a sorcerer to them.
Go back to the 12th
Oh, yeah.
century with
Yeah.
like.
I'd literally just be like
Oh my god!
Time to start a f***ing crusade.
Yeah, and
shotgun.
And then you run
Mine's
out of
more or less
bullets,
just
and
because
then
I
you're
want to be a
like,
wizard.
oh no.
Invent bullets!
Yeah.
I think I would. I think I'd go back to the pre-Cambrian era and just look at all the weird bugs. That was
Okay.
that period of time is weird. It's like an alien planet when you look at it because it's just like big insects everywhere. It's kind of gross.
Pre-Cambrian, before or after the ozone got made? So otherwise, would you just like instantly die because there is no ozone?
There's
Would you just be
Well, I go back with a gas mask. So how about that? Because I'm pretty sure the atmosphere would kill you. So good point. Good point.
I would also maybe go back to when dinosaurs were still walking the earth so I can tell scientists how fucking wrong they are.
That would be cool.
I mean, honestly,
Bring back a full-blown ostrich raptor.
Yeah, there you
he
go.
said,
Check
well,
this
Nolan said
out.
go back to the past. He never said come back to the future.
It's true. I would just live
Yeah, I'd
there in a
probably just
little
stay
hut.
where I'm at too. I'm over there like, bibbidi bobbidi boo, you don't have chicken pox no more, bitch.
Can you imagine how much that would freak people out if they
just have
found
a
like
shit ton of
fossilized
vaccines.
next to a bunch of trilobites, like a little hut
is
of
you.
me with like a Nintendo Switch? Like, they're like, what the hell?
They'd be like, time travel is real.
They'd be like, everything's out the window. Nothing makes sense.
Honestly, the technology wouldn't survive, but the fact that they'd be like, trilobite, human skeleton, what?
Now hang on, yeah.
And this isn't like early human, this is like modern human.
They're like, he's got an Apple Watch.
What the hell is this? Yeah, that would
Buried
be
underneath
funny.
way far in the earth, it's like, what?
Okay, now hypothetically, if we
Okay.
had time travel, I would definitely give it to Shia LaBeouf and let him go do that so we could be like, Shia LaBeouf has been here since the beginning of time.
Oh god.
He was always here. There's like cave paintings of
It's like,
him.
he was always here, it's Shia LaBeouf.
What if we sent Shia LaBeouf back in time and then things noticed his ability to survive and everything started convergently evolving to become like Shia LaBeouf?
That would be definitely how the universe...
You'd go back to the
Yeah,
future and
no.
everything would have like his face.
How do you not like Shia LaBeouf? Let's...
Oh no,
Not backwards.
no,
mad.
I don't mind it. I mean,
Insane.
more recently,
He's mad.
he's kind of
He's
gone
jealous.
wackadoodle territory.
He's always been...
Yeah, yeah, but like he was
I don't
also
know,
on
maybe I'm-
Disney. I mean, he was on Disney, but like he wasn't always super weird. And now it's like Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is always weird. Now he's
It's kind
now he's weird.
Yeah, that was real weird.
you know, that's what happens when your head gets lit on fire and you become the Ghost Rider. You
Yeah.
become nuts.
They just lit his head on
And
fire
I
for
feel
that
like-
ove.
and I-
Nick demanded we light his head on fire. in
He's
every
like, I'm a
scene.
method actor. I'm a method actor now.
At least they didn't get Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? They should have had Danny DeVito, though.
As Ghost
Boy.
Rider?
I came in blasting.
Rider. Hit him.
Man, I feel so like lazy saying like my time travel thing. I just go figure out what the winning lottery numbers were for a not winning thing, and then go back on time and then win the lottery, and then never have to worry about anything ever again.
That's genius. That's very
Like
smart.
then you still get to. I mean, you don't get to go back and see like some cool things happen in the time period. But then it's like also. But then if something bad happens to you, say you get sick, what are you gonna do? If you go back to the medieval time period and you get cut. You're not gonna have modern medicine to do anything. It's like, oh hey, look, you got cut. Now you have gangrene because there's no way to treat it in this time period that
Well, I mean, that's...
easily accessible. But
If I were to go, I would definitely bring, like, books.
Yeah.
Band-aids.
Yeah. I'd bring books and then ways on how to create penicillin, morphine. Gotta have some tranquilizer.
Gonna have them 400 years too soon, 600 years too soon.
Yeah.
All right.
But there's no paradox. It's
That's
fine.
true.
I just,
Yeah, no paradox. That's also why I would do, and also the lottery.
I would definitely be
then I just
casting
have
spells,
money.
though. I'd be like, on the mea paroma, here's your penicillin. You'll be fine.
You have all of these things, and
Shut
then
up.
you
Here's your Viagra.
You just there you go. Introduce Viagra. 600 years.
Oh, how
Humans
do you
will be
think they,
extinct
that's
in
how
20
we
minutes.
survived the Black Plague? Let's be honest. They just had a lot of children. Black Plague, Viagra.
No,
They
that's
had a lot
true,
of
that's
children.
true.
They
They're
still,
just like-
and a lot of children still died anyways. Even
Yes,
though,
but the more there are, the more survive.
well,
Just
I mean,
make more kids.
He's got a point.
even without
He's got
the
a
Black
point.
Plague, they would
he's
have
got
a
a
lot of
point.
children, and a lot of children would die. Still.
Hypothetically, Viagra
Look,
sends
look.
their pills back.
If two kids die, but it's 2 out of 4, yeah, that's 50%. But if it's 2 out of 20,
That's not too bad.
it's not too bad.
And 6 out of 20.
2 out of
it's,
20
If you get like 10
survive
out
or
of 20,
die?
that's still 50%,
Die.
but that's still
Oh.
10 more children that are alive.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
There you go. The solution is clear.
Math.
Have more kids. Just a bunch more kids. Just continue the bloodline. It's got to continue.
90% sure that that's
Everyone's
what 2020 brought to the world is more children
I think.
Yeah.
out of pure boredom.
Okay, if you could time travel back and kill little baby Thanos, would you?
Oh my
would you
gosh!
kill little baby
you mean
Thanos?
like how Rhodey's like,
Yeah. Like what?
yes.
Like we could kill little baby Thanos, right?
And he's like, no.
How paradox-inducing would
I
that
would
fucking
just-
be? That
okay,
would
ruin
but
everything.
hold
this is
on.
where I got confused.
Thor gives you a big pair of scissors, like
See,
you have to do it.
what I would do is I would sit there and I would whisper in his ear the entire time that he's growing up. Give more resources, don't kill people.
This is where I get confused on that part. They're like, oh, if you go and kill Thanos, it doesn't change anything. Okay, it doesn't change anything, and I understand that they're trying to say something else would happen that would counteract what you did. So something just as bad as Thanos would still happen. but I don't understand why they wouldn't just be like, maybe that's easier to handle.
Yeah, it's like it really doesn't make any sense.
That's the only thing I don't understand. The rest of it I completely agree with and understand.
I think it's because technically, if you were to go back and kill baby Thanos, when you would still return to your own timeline. You would just be creating a separate timeline in which Thanos was dead.
Yeah.
So you would you go back. You're only on your one single timeline.
Unless you stayed in that timeline.
So unless you've lived out the rest of your life following that timeline, when you return back to the present, you would still be along your original timeline.
Sorcerer Supreme.
So then it's like you have this divergent one where yes, maybe that universe there is no Thanos and he never did the snap, but there's still your universe that exists and your timeline that still exists that still has Thanos.
I think the idea is, I think that doesn't even make complete sense though, because when they go back to like modern day or whatever, they don't run into Thanos Thanos is dead at that point, but young Thanos showed up because they time traveled back and stole the stone from him or whatever and became aware of them, remember? So it's like even that's kind of out the window. Like it does still affect the timeline, but like not really. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Because
then there's and then that's a different timeline of there was a timeline that they found that they crossed paths, but it was not the same Thanos that they previously encountered.
What I'm hearing is that because Thanos from that timeline left and went to the quote-unquote current timeline of the Avengers, there was now a timeline where Thanos didn't ever exist. So, I mean, in the end, they did end up creating their end goal where all of them still survived.
Was that Thanos from a different timeline? Did he jump into their timeline? Yes. That was right? Okay, I'm wrong then. I'm wrong then.
But then here's the question that a different timeline,
it was from like 2014, I think.
Technically an alternate universe.
Yeah.
But how did he get there?
They did something with Nebula.
I know Nebula turned on the thing, but you have to have Pym particles to jump through the quantum
Didn't he
realm.
Have some?
I don't know, but I mean they like busted through.
I guess
also, we don't know what technology they had.
Races have other crap. That's
and right. I mean they and the thing is the Pym particles I think were for you to travel back in time, but with the machine they could probably maybe bypass something with it, or at least open something up large enough. I have no idea.
Know.
And I think
loopholes.
And I think I know what they did. I think they also shrunk its size down with one of the Ant-Man things because when it came out, you saw it expand and it just kind of exploded the building.
Yeah. No, that was beautiful.
So,
I just watched that, literally.
So.
I need to watch Avengers again. I can't.
Time travel.
Movie night.
Honestly.
Movie night, Avengers.
This is why time travel is so, like... Why a lot of times in, like, movies, they'll be like, time travel stuff, I'm just like, oh, no.
I can't think of what the movie is called right now. There's a movie that's about time travel that tries to do it, like, super scientifically accurate. I can't remember what it's called. Primer. It's called Primer. And it's been on my watch list for like a long time, but it's like two guys invent a time machine and they follow the like supposedly real world physics of it like to a T, and it gets like really confusing. Like I don't know.
Yeah, because time travel itself is like
I think I like the Warehouse 13 version of time travel.
What's that?
H.G. Wells created a time machine.
Oh yeah.
And the time machine can only send your consciousness back to a time where you existed. So
it's up and down your own timeline.
Yeah, it's up and down your own timeline, because then it's not messing with the fabric of space-time, which gets rid of all the paradoxes. However, when you get transported back in time, while you can change some things, you can't change anything that would drastically adjust your timeline, because it would still create a paradox. So basically, the theory in Warehouse 13 is that you're able to travel back in your own timeline, but you can only change minor things that wouldn't impact your life in a large scale. So if, like, say your kid died, you couldn't travel back in time and keep your kid alive. Your kid would still die, it would just be a different way every single time.
It would also depend on when, because depending on the paradox and when the time machine got made, because if you made the time machine in order to save your kid, then you couldn't save your kid, because then you'd have no way to build the time machine.
Right.
If you had the time machine before the kid died,
then technically
you could do it, because then it existed and it wasn't the catalyst to make it.
I guess you're correct. That actually would still fit within the theory. That's interesting.
Because then technically it's like there wasn't the catalyst to create this thing. It just already was there. So it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that. It's the universe trying to write itself. Man, time travel, because there's so many different theories, because that's the thing is like the whole time travel. It's like, yeah, there's quantum physics, but then there's also like, there are some slight forms of like massive time travel, like if you were to orbit around a black hole.
Oh yeah,
Just
no,
way
black
bigger.
holes would have.
I do
take
that.
Do you guys ever have a shamrock shake and then need a nap?
No.
I have.
I think what Nolan's
already-
trying to say is he needs a nap.
I already took my nap.
No, here's the deal though. Let's go back to the superheroes for a moment. How is it that Black Widow died, but Black Widow is still getting a movie this year? Somebody explain that to me.
Prequel.
It's a prequel, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Because she's talking like she died in the preview. The
Is
newest one.
she?
Then it just might be kind of like a thing in her own mind.
And then Loki's supposed to be dead, and Loki goes to this underworld type thing.
Because it could also be an alternate, one of the alternate universes, or it's a prequel, or it's
I never understand.
Or it's some
That's
weird
I think they're both prequels. I could be wrong though. I don't know. Whatever. It's comic books. The thing with comic books is no one ever dies. That's the problem with
Stark.
comic books. That's why.
Sad.
That's why it's hard to get invested in comic books a lot of the times because no one stays dead. It feels like there's less. The thing with like a lot of comic books, even with like the good ones, like Batman and Superman, is like it's hard to get invested in the stakes when you just know that like they'll come back to life even if they die, which is supposed to be like worst case scenario. So like
It's kind of hard to be like, oh man, Krypton's gone, but it comes back 3 times within the comic book series. I'll agree with that.
yeah, I don't know. There's other comics that are I think self-contained stories kind of
The
are
Flash
the,
is the only
exclusion.
one I know of where, like, the Flash is alive, dies almost, goes back in time, because he can move fast
Flash.
enough to go back in
set
time.
the universe.
Yeah. But then when he dies, just a new Flash takes over. That's the only comic book timeline that I've ever seen where Flash dies. Like in the original timeline from start to finish.
I mean, they tried to do it with like Superman, with like the whole death of Superman thing, and I think that lasted like a month.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, he's back.
It's like, wow, crazy. Superman's
Sounds like
back.
Voldemort. Oh, he's
I've
back.
seen a thing, I don't remember where I saw it, but it was like a skit that somebody did where this guy has like a time machine in his lap and he goes and talks with a girl, and every time he messes up, he'll press the time machine and it takes him back like maybe 5-10 seconds so he can redo it. But they end up getting on a conversation where it's like, oh yeah, didn't you know that every single time that you go back in time, your original body dies? And so it like cuts away and it's this chick sitting next to like 7 dead bodies of like, so like each timeline has like a dead body and she's just freaking out. And it's kind of funny.
That would be a hilarious method of time travel if every time you do it, your corpse is just fried in place.
Yeah, because
People
like
just
your
have to stand there.
consciousness is no longer there, and it's
Well, there'd be a couple million of me if I could do that.
That would be interesting.
And then there's
That sounds like a horror short, if anything, Tangi.
yeah.
It sounds like a scary short
It was amusing.
And then if you think
I
about it,
enjoyed it.
Groundhog's Day itself could be a horror short.
idea. Groundhog's Day could be.
Given
Groundhog's Day was terrifying.
Oh yeah, the
Like,
idea
it's stuck
that's
in that
scary.
crowd.
like the thing is at first it'd probably be kind of one of those things where you would at first it'd be like the movie would be like, oh yeah, let's have a lot of fun. It's like no repercussions. I can do whatever I want, and then it's just like, okay, now when does it end?
Yeah.
Because I remember I think it's based on a book or whatnot, and
Yeah.
like I think he said like the equivalent of time that he spent doing the same day was like 100 years or something, or like hundreds of years that he spent in the loop time, like that many days.
Well,
It's
like-
just like that's also how he learned all sorts of things. Because when he was doing like the card throwing into the hat, and he was like, yeah, once you practice it for a couple hours a day for however many days, then you get pretty good at it.
Or
So,
let's talk about the fact that he became a master
piano.
sculptor.
Yeah.
and then like an amazing piano player. Like he spent a lot of time on that same loop, and I'm like,
It's
that would
actually
suck.
Bill Murray playing the piano for that too. He actually is playing the piano in that scene.
Oh, that's cool.
That movie's really good.
oh god.
It's just like bizarre. I'm wondering how long he was actually stuck in Groundhog's Day for. How long was he? How long do you think he repeated that?
I think the original author said it was like hundreds of years, like 100 or
I think-
hundreds
See,
of
I'm
years,
trying
or
to
maybe
look
it's
it up.
even way more.
I think
than
the
that.
author alluded to the fact that it was at least 180 years. That's
which is
what I remember.
which is a lot of days.
Yeah.
I think it's like never completely said, but
Oh, yeah, no.
from what people have worked out, 1 minute, I just looked it up. A film blog has worked it out for you. 33 years and 350 days.
Oh, in the movie.
Whoa. Torturous time equates to repeating the same day 12,395 times.
33 years of the same day.
I would probably just smother myself in syrup and just let myself become a sticky sap.
It looks like Harold
And then you have
Ramis.
to return it.
And then return the next day.
Harold Ramis originally said like 10 years, but then it sounds like, I guess he like recalled that and said it had to have been closer to like 30 to 40. So like, there you go. Imagine repeating the same day for that long and you're just trapped in this town. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
That's a really good movie.
I wonder how many. I wonder how many days it would take for you to actually to start to like lose your mind.
Oh, for me, it takes 1 week for me at work, and it's not even the same day every day. I'd lose my shit.
I think being stuck in the loop, you like eventually would get over it though, because that happens to him. He just goes through a phase of just like killing himself pretty much, where he's just like, I can't, like it doesn't matter, and then after a while he like starts caring again because like.
Now
stuck.
Because he's like, there's got to be a way out of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's good.
I can't. And then is it before or after he does his suicide stuff that he starts learning a bunch of skills?
I don't remember. I want to say it's before. I think he has like a bunch of like highs and lows where he goes through like a couple phases. Yeah, that's a good movie. If anybody hasn't seen Groundhog's Day, they should watch it. It's a good weird time travel movie. It's like an episode of The Twilight Zone, but it's like a comedy.
You wanted to talk about hypotheticals? Nolan?
Yeah, I had a hypothetical, but I couldn't find a time to transition into it. Does anybody else have a hypothetical?
Sort of. But I want to hear yours first.
Okay, this was something that me and my girlfriend Brenda were talking about. We were discussing it, right? And I don't remember how we got on the topic of it, but we were discussing Harry Potter, and we were talking about the Polyjuice potion, right? And like how it transforms you. And our question was, if two people, do you know where this is going?
I think I do.
Okay, let's say Ron and Hermione or something, because they're a couple, right? We'll say those two. If Ron and Hermione took Polyjuice potions, Hermione turned into Ron, Ron turned into Hermione, and they had sex. Once the Polyjuice wore off, would the other one be able to be pregnant? Or could you get someone using a Polyjuice potion pregnant?
So
from what I can interpret, the Polyjuice potion changes you 100%. Mm-hmm. So, but it doesn't take away anything that wasn't part of the individual beforehand. Mm. So, technically, if you kept drinking, you'd have to keep drinking it for the egg to be fertilized, but then technically Ron would have a very big problem inside of his body.
Yeah, so then would he just, if he turned back into Ron after it turned into like an embryo? It would still be
attached to him and technically able to soak up blood and stuff.
But would it just be like half of it, do you think? Or do you think that like the egg would stay in him at that point?
I think it would attach to his innards. And I don't know how that would go.
I mean, there's also the possibility that it's magic and it just doesn't let it happen.
Maybe.
Like it's just one of those things to where it would just prevent magic might just prevent something like that from happening, so that stuff doesn't happen. To where it's like they decided to have some fun and it turned into a problem real quick.
Yes. Okay, Tangi, what's your theory?
See, my theory is in the movies and everything like that, and even in the book, their voices don't change when they take Polyjuice potions, so that reckons to see that the insides don't change, it's just their outward appearance. Because
but do you think that, so you think that like even...
all of their organs on the inside are the same.
So you think that it's just like a superficial, like fake penis, pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah, because like you can grow in height and everything like that, but if your voice doesn't change, then who's to say that anything else on the inside changes?
Interesting. See, here's my theory, right? When Hermione turns into the cat, right? Even after she turns back into Hermione, she's still spitting up cat hair. That remains. Which makes me think that even if Ron and Hermione turned back, there would still be that remnant from Hermione's load inside of Ron. Which means he could be pregnant.
No, I don't think it's the organs that change, though. I don't think your organs or anything like that will ever change.
Hermione's like, you want a kid,
but I
Ron?
think
You're
that
gonna
they-
deliver.
Here's the thing, I think they have to, because if you're able to turn into a cat, there's no way you've got all your human organs in there.
Well, she outwardly resembled a cat. We don't know what happened to her insides necessarily.
But you're saying that her
She didn't
human
turn into
organs just like shrank down inside of it, but it must change you anatomically, because like you can't have a human skull and the human skeleton inside of a cat and have it
she
look
was
like
never
a
a cat,
cat.
She never turned into a full-blown
She was-
cat.
it
She
was-
started...
She turned into a cat person. You're right.
Yeah, she turned into like a cat girl. So it wasn't
I
an actual
still-
full-blown cat.
She grew a tail though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can grow superficial, like, limbs and articles of, like, you know...
But that must
Tails
have
and
like
stuff.
bones and vessels in it and
Yeah,
things,
no,
which means
I feel like
it's
you could
anatomical.
grow what you don't already have.
So could you grow like say ovaries
So
or
Hermione,
testicles?
No,
so
I'm talking about,
Hermione
like-
might grow a penis, but Ron wouldn't lose his penis.
Interesting.
What?
What?
No.
I don't know.
It only works one way.
Well, it would be growing something you don't have, but since it's an outward thing, unless it turns them into
Somebody
hermaphrodites.
message J.K. Rowling. We
Yeah,
have a
I was
question.
gonna say we need to actually tweet this at her, but I was gonna say, okay, supposing hypothetically it did change like your internal organs, right? In order to come to terms with a baby, would you just have to drink Polyjuice Potion for like 9 months until the baby is born? And if you did, and the baby was born, and then you let yourselves transform back, what would happen to that baby? Would the baby still exist, or would it
Well, the hairball
unravel?
is still there.
Yeah.
So I think the baby would still be there, but it'd be ridiculous.
I mean,
because
well,
Hermione's just like, I'm not carrying that. I'm not carrying that. You're
Well,
gonna do it.
You do it, Ron.
it's still the same. It's still the same. Like DNA. It's not like they were using someone else's DNA. So they'd still have.
Maybe their chromosomes would all just reverse.
I don't think their DNA changes, though.
Exactly.
I don't know. See, and that's where I'm like, I don't know.
It just comes out a oh my gosh, hippogriff? No, why can't?
Hippogriff?
Thank you. That one.
Homunculus. Hippogriff.
It comes out a squishy baby.
Squishy baby. But this is the question that we were trying to figure out, and I think we legitimately need to tweet at J.K. Rowling because we need to know.
She'll probably
Use
come
the
up with something
Dankrite
nice answer.
Productions one so we can be like, check out our podcast for our theories.
I was gonna say, I'll do it right now. Do we have
That's-
the Dankrite Productions? I might.
the login?
I might have it on
shoot.
here.
I don't know.
I'm like,
I feel like the magic would prevent stuff like that from happening.
I just
so?
don't think the inside changes.
How did you guys even get onto that topic?
no clue. I don't remember. We were just talking about Polyjuice Potion, and then things got into weird places, I guess. But
I mean,
yeah.
because one of the things is like it doesn't change their voice, and I mean,
Right, so that
although,
would imply that it doesn't change their insides.
Yeah.
It's like superficial.
I mean, unless you could like somehow mimic their voice or have, I don't know if there's like different levels of Polyjuice Potion to where it can mimic their voice or something. I don't know, because if you think about it with Barty Crouch and Mad-Eye Moody, it sounded like him.
Mm-hmm.
So like, unless he was just mimicking his voice or he used a spell to help, give him that voice or what, I don't know how that works. But like, if it keeps the voice, because when they all transform into Harry at the beginning of 7 or whatnot, when they're getting him out of the burrow or whatnot, it's like, they all still have their normal voices.
That's true. It's true.
So,
But then the fact that they like change height and like body shape also kind of implies that there's some kind of internal restructuring going on. So it's like
skeletal or whatnot.
skeletal or
I have
something.
I have no idea.
We're gonna have to find out though.
We're gonna have to tweet. We're gonna tweet J.K.
We have to
Rowling.
go right to the source.
We're going right to the source. We're going to tweet J.K. Rowling. We're going to see what she says. If she doesn't reply, everyone start asking her this question.
Depending on when this podcast comes out, there might be an answer already on her Twitter.
Yes, we're gonna.
We'll wait until the weekend before.
Yeah. We're going to tweet at J.K. Rowling if. Okay, how should we word this actually?
If I drank Polyjuice Potion with my partner and we switched sexes,
yeah.
would I be able to stay pregnant?
Yes.
After switching back.
Could I get
After
Or we
switching
could
back.
just ask the question of, like, also, like, if you drink when you drink Polyjuice Potion, do your innards change?
That's a little bit more succinct. I think both are hilarious, though.
We're gonna ask her.
I feel like
if by the time that this is out, she hasn't tweeted about it, ask her for us. Just go ask J.K. Rowling this question at J.K. Rowling. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna get to the bottom of it, guys.
We're gonna make J.K. Rowling trending again because of it.
and then people are gonna be like, "What'd you say this time?" Oh no, it's not what she said. It's what these other people are asking her. What the hell?
And then we'll be like, go to the... Never mind. Okay.
Everybody, make sure you also mention Dankrite Productions.
Yes.
Right, production.
Clocked out
we'd
creatures.
appreciate it.
Yeah, do it.
We should just make a Clocked Out Creatures Twitter.
Oh, we should.
Anyway.
I had something, and now it's gone.
Oh, yeah, hypothetical.
Yeah.
I did, and now it's gone.
This
It's gone.
hypothetical
Hypothetically, I had a hypothetical, but it's hypothetically gone.
Hypothetically speaking.
Did you have a hypothetical,
Do
Dustin?
you have a degree in theoretical physics? I have a theoretical degree in physics.
I have a theoretical degree. Yeah.
Mine is more kind of like slightly work-based.
I want to know.
Because I have said in the past
I never do
at some point I want to play a villain. So if you hypothetically had to cast me as a villain,
Christ.
what archetype of villain would you cast
You
me
already
as?
know my answer to
I-
this one.
I know.
You texted me.
Yeah, I
I
know
feel like
this.
you would be, hypothetically, like...
Whether on screen or voice acting, your choice. Or both.
I'd probably just make you quite literally. I don't know.
I mean, if you want
I
to know
think-
what I said,
I'd
I
probably
think you'd
make
be
a
like the-
bearded gremlin.
I was gonna say, I think you'd be like the power-hungry second in command that ends up killing the main villain and taking over.
Oh, okay.
I
What's
think-
yours?
Oh.
so mine was basically somebody who was a villain for right reasons, but going about it the wrong way. So like a hero turned a villain, or like a villain that was just Andrew.
Sorry, no, I was gonna say something, but I can't.
Callum's turning evil. What?
Or just like a villain who basically like was like, oh yeah, no, kind of like a Thanos situation, where you can obviously side with the villain because you understand where they are coming from, but you know they're going about it the wrong way.
Like, oh yes, you want to save the universe from itself? That's a very honorable thing. Genocide is not the way to do it, though.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, if this person wasn't going about it in a wrong way, they could easily become a hero.
Oh yeah. It's like
Understood, yeah.
That is what I have
So
said.
Thanos.
Like hero, I think another one we brought up was like Hero Killer Stain.
Yes, if
from
you've
My
seen
Hero.
My Hero Academia, Hero Killer Stain was one of the examples I gave him.
Oh, Hero Killer Stain's cool. That guy doesn't have a nose.
no, he doesn't.
He's like
That's weird.
Voldemort.
So that brings up another question, though. What would we all be cast as?
Oh yeah, that's a
Like,
good question.
what do you all feel like? Maybe I, myself, or you, Nolan, or
As-
Andrew?
as bad guys?
Well,
Yeah, as bad guys.
Well, real quick, Dustin, which villain do you see yourself as?
Honestly, I have no idea. That's why I'm asking other people.
Okay. Well, who wants to go next? Andrew, Tangi?
I will do Tangi.
Okay.
Tangi, I feel like you would be. I feel like you would end up being like that. I'd probably cast you as like a greedy dragon.
A greedy dragon.
Like, give me the amethyst stones! Philosopher's stone!
You might be like that villain.
Babies!
That's like babies!
Babies!
I feel like that's what you would be.
I think you're that villain that's like calm and quiet until they snap and then they like freak out. You're like Kylo Ren or something.
Oh, damn.
I have thought about this immensely since he had asked me that question. I've decided for myself that I would be kind of like a villain who had obviously been hurt so many times in their past life that they don't want to trust, and just feel like destroying everyone out of spite.
But we can change you with the power of friendship, and we will.
And
Care
my special
Bears.
thing would be
Power of
arson
love.
because I love fire.
Dustin, who do you see Tangi as? What kind of villain we doing?
I don't know.
with
She
here?
asked me that question after I
Yeah.
asked her that, and she
Dustin's
was like,
literally-
It's okay to say a power-hungry gnome.
Kind of criminal madman. Are we
No,
dealing with?
no idea.
Criminal mastermind.
No, just for context, I gave Andrew the dirtiest look after saying power hungry no.
Power hungry, no.
If you don't hear from me again, it's because I'm dead!
I rule this land now. That's what you'd sound
That's
like.
there's Tangi's villain.
Okay.
I could also see her. possibly in the same kind of second command and then taking over because you are an incompetent fuck, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, just like kind of acts like, oh yes, like right away, but then like the second they get a chance, they like
or they're really the mastermind
ribs.
behind the scene, and then the top person's really not the top person.
Ooh, they thought they were in command.
Has anyone seen like Django Unchained?
Yeah.
It's like with Sam Jackson's character or whatnot. Like he plays the part of the kind of.
So what I'm hearing is
the slave
would generally be just evil for the sake of being evil.
Oh,
just fuck everyone.
We'll change you with the power of
You're like, I am quite literally Doom.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Sam Jackson's character, though, yeah.
Sam Jackson.
Yes, Sam Jackson's character in Django Unchained.
No, I just don't appreciate the fact that he called him Sam Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Sam Jackson?
No, he is Samuel L. Jackson, my good sir. Get out.
I'm gonna start calling him Sam now.
Get out.
I'm gonna start calling him
Sam J. Sammy J.
That pissed off Brenda yesterday. I think I called like Morgan Freeman. I think I just said Morgan, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like it was his name,
Mr. Freeman.
Get out, Jim Jimerson.
It's like you don't always want to call someone like Shaquille O'Neal. Like,
hey,
no, that's
that'll
what
be
it
out
was.
Tomorrow.
I said Shaquille. I just said Shaquille, and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "It's his name."
2 weeks ago.
It's his name. What
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Tomorrow for us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got Tangi's. We got Dustin's. Andrew. What type of villain would Andrew be?
I know what I'd be, but
A bitch.
yes.
Honestly, personally,
Starscream.
I don't know. I just.
Oh my god! I am insulted.
No,
Starscream! I don't want Megatron! I'll stab you in the ass later! Megatron appears to be dead. Now I am the leader of the Decepticons! Megatron wakes up, he's like, oh, Lord Megatron! Lord Megatron, you're awake!
Shit.
He's waiting for you!
No, I don't know.
See, I see Andrew being someone who's very charismatic and only has people following him because they like him.
I'm dark and raw, yes.
Yeah,
He
kinda.
wins them over by being nice to them.
Yeah, no, he literally wins them over because the way he speaks about it.
I'm like, let's go kill the peasants! And they're like, oh, Lord!
Andrew is the cult leader.
Yes.
the cult leader, yeah.
Oh, yes, that's exactly what I am.
Get 'em all to
I am the
drink
bipolar
Kool-Aid.
cult leader.
Yeah, no, I just see you as somebody who has a following simply because you're so charismatic.
He's always
As long as it's not Charles Manson related, we're fine. I for some reason
Here, drink this Kool-Aid.
It's a fantasy cult. It's
I
a
for
death
some
potion.
reason
It's
named
fine.
Kim's computer Charles Manson when I was setting it up, and I don't remember doing that.
Hello,
So
Charles Manson.
I'm like,
welcome back.
to Charles Manson.
FBI be knocking down that door any second now.
They're like, boom, 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 boom. All right.
Nolan, what villain would you be?
I don't know.
Nolan would probably be the high dark elf of Cambodia or something.
No, I feel like Nolan would definitely be a villain that never gets angry. Super calm, super
He's
methodical.
the evil version of Vision.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Yes.
I would only.
He has no eyes.
Did you put your name to the goblet of fire?
I would never see Nolan getting angry in any regard, though. It's always very slow, methodical. Knowing that he can defeat his enemies, kind of a thing, is how I see him as a villain.
I've got that Count Dooku look of superiority.
And then the surprise when
You
you
know
die.
you're better than everyone.
They're like, oh shit, I realize what's going on now! Isn't it funny how, cutting to that for a moment, Count Dooku was, oblivious to everything and then was like, oh god, I was always gonna die!
Oh, He's like, so that whole, rule of two thing, that doesn't apply to us, right? Once we abduct Anakin, he's like, yeah. Don't worry about it, Dooku, we're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. Oh, man. Who would everybody else be then? Who would, Rachel be as a villain?
Oh.
Rachel's, so not evil.
I feel if I were to cast her in something, I'd do something that's completely opposite of her, which just overtly she's very evil.
She's just a masochist.
I don't know why, but I imagine Vicky from Fairly Odd Parents. Just
evil
See,
bitch.
I feel like Rachel would be like a villain. She'd definitely be a villain that has good intentions to a degree, but I feel like she'd be similar to like the Queen in The Witcher, oh Lord, Queen Calanthe.
Yes.
Yes.
Plenty.
She'd be very similar to her, where she's like, I hate all of you, but it's because I'm protecting my family. Do not touch my children. Like, that'd be Rachel. But she'd totally be willing, like,
Just a mama bear.
simultaneously good and bad, but willing to kill anyone.
She's
A
like
mama
a
bear
murderous mama bear, yeah. That's an interesting one. So then who would I think Logan would be the Joker. He's just like insane and he just annoyed the shit out of you.
No, I feel like he's more like Penguin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you next time, you Batman! Let me tell you my plan! Let me say a horrible joke again!
He'd be like Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. Where he's
Oh
like,
my-
Nice to see you. It's like, ah.
He's just any of Batman's enemies.
He would totally be the pun villain that just is making puns the whole time.
Why don't you
God.
chill out?
Everybody freeze! It's like, God damn it, Logan.
I feel. The Riddler.
And he would be like the Riddler. Yeah. Riddle me this, Batman.
Oh man.
How many fingers am I holding up? Okay, that
be?
just leaves Mia and Kim. Yeah, Mia and Kim. Yeah, Kim
Amber.
and Amber. Oh, we got Amber and Kelly too.
Kelly is definitely the silent, like, I will torture the fuck out of you.
I think she's like quiet and like she's like that character with like the grin all the time that like doesn't say anything.
Kelly's
It's
the
like,
one who does evil, despicable that you only find out right before you die.
yeah,
You've
exactly.
seen Claymore. Those of you that are listening, those of you that have seen Claymore, the first female #1 rank to have awakened, that is what I think Kelly would be.
Interesting.
Those of them
I
that
gotta watch it now.
have seen Claymore will know what I mean.
I gotta finish Promise Neverland and then I'll watch Claymore. Promise Neverland is good so far.
I'm still trying to finish that one.
I feel like Mia would accidentally fall into being the evil character, and then she's in too far, so she just rolls with it.
Yeah, she's just like,
I feel
whatever.
like Mia would be like a Poison Ivy situation.
Maybe she just doesn't care, yeah. Yeah, maybe. She just she just has fun. I don't know.
Just like if people are pissing her off, she'll do something about it. But
Yeah. Huh.
I thought of
Yeah.
a villain I would like think the type of
Who are
villain.
we missing?
I
We're
don't know if I
missing
can-
someone, aren't we?
Kim and Amber? No, we did Kim, right?
Did we do Kim?
We didn't do
We
Kim.
didn't do Kim. We glossed over Kim. Kim is...
Kim would be like...
she's like the...
She's Nebula.
She Nebula? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
She's Nebula.
she's Nebula.
That's it.
Yeah.
Kim is like the person that got into being a villain because they thought it was cool. And Batman's got to be like, kid, don't blow up trains. It's not all right. And she's like, fuck you, Batman. It's awesome. Joker did it.
Yeah. And then Amber... If Amber was a villain,
Amber.
I feel like Amber, as nice as she may appear, would be like Lord Sauron.
Ooh, yeah. She's just like an overlord, maybe. She'd definitely have... I feel like she would definitely be that like quiet queen type or something that just like sits on a throne and is like...
What I'm
execute them.
hearing is
What?
Queen of Hearts.
if
Yeah, there you go.
everybody in this company went villain,
We'd
We'd be
cool.
the Justice, or we'd be the Injustice
the League of Villains.
Or some kind of Suicide Squad.
Oh, weird.
Who you think would be like leading the whole thing?
The ringleader, Maurice. Maurice is like the evil overlord, eldritch abomination that we worship. We do not know his ways, and he'll probably do away with us once he's done with us. But you know, it's nice to
One can only hope.
be on his team for a while. Or one can only hope, right?
One can only hope.
will bring us darkness.
Of course.
Other than Maurice,
Yeah.
who do you think would be disregarding the whole like hierarchy that we have going on with bosses and stuff?
Who would be the what?
Hierarchy of like our
Would be the
villain league.
leader.
We were.
Ooh. It definitely... It definitely sounds like...
And I'll do it.
I was like, yeah, there you go. You got the most ambition out of anyone in the room, I guess. You're like, oh,
For now.
No, disregarding who wants to and everything like that, who do you think would end up becoming the leader? Whether it be like rising to the ranks or secretly being behind the scenes or things like that.
Okay, let's do a rundown real quick, because I need to remember what everyone was.
I'm a cult leader.
Cult leader. elf dude who's like doesn't show emotion. Wow, I guess I play that in the show too. Okay, we've got
But not in D&D.
The, like, Thanos villain.
Thanos villain.
I guess we could say. I can't remember what you guys
What
said.
did we decide on for Tangi? What was Tangi?
Tangi was the... What was
Oh, it was the calm and quiet until I go.
Bazonkas.
Quiet until you go berserk. We got Kelly, who's like the silent, like, torture the shit out of you person.
Yeah.
We've got
Jigsaw.
Kim, who's Nebula.
Kim, who's Nebula, Mia, who's like Poison Ivy, Amber, who's like the Dark
Sauron.
Queen or whatever,
Lord Sauron.
Lord Sauron, whatever.
And then
Okay, I think
And
Amber.
then Logan was the Joker.
and Rachel was
Or no,
Queen
Penguin.
Calanthe.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say Logan. I'm gonna say right off the bat, Logan's over here in his own little bracket. He's not playing by anybody's rules. Maybe he's got Kim on his side.
Logan
Maybe
doesn't care.
I'd say those two are kind of in their own little league. I think that based on what we've got, probably
Probably be Rachel or Amber.
Rachel or Amber are like dual leaders up top, or like Amber's just slightly above that. No, I think Rachel would be.
I feel like Rachel would
I think it
totally
would
be
be
the one.
Rachel with like Amber as like her like second in command, you know, and then I think it would be like
It'd be Tangi.
I feel like it would be like you three would maybe be like her like her
generals?
her generals, and then it would be like me and Kelly are like the generals or whatever.
Like,
the
you're
little
the lieutenants.
We're your corporals that like torture people for fun and stuff.
Divine Lance Corporal.
Divine Lance.
Oh shoot! I gotta watch the new Seven Deadly Sins episode.
Although, like, a villain that, like, archetype that I would, like, be like, I wish I could play them is something like Davy Jones from Pirates
Oh
of the Caribbean.
yeah, the Eldritch Captain.
If you guys think we were wrong in any of our villain casting, let us know in the comments down
boy.
below.
And Maurice is off in another dimension, giving us dark commands.
He is
with,
quite literally
with
just
Fiona.
Doctor
I mean,
Strange
if-
possessed by the.
I mean, if you've
Infinity Stones.
if you've seen the cutscene to the end of in Zombies and Black Ops 3 or whatnot, like the first beginning map you unlocked or whatever, that before any of the DLCs, if you did the Easter egg and you see like all the tentacles coming out of the sky about to destroy the planet, that's Maurice.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Oh wait, what about Fiona? Fiona's our mannequin that we have here. Where does Fiona fit into all this?
She's a mannequin?
Yeah. Well, she's cut in half.
Fiona.
She has no head either.
I hope she's a mannequin.
Fiona to me would be like a realistic bad guy though. Like she'd be like a.
She's like
Who's that really famous
Hitler.
serial?
Jeffrey Dahmer?
Sorry.
No, but very similar class of serial killer.
Ooh.
Ted Bundy?
Like Ted
No,
Bundy?
it
or
was
like...
literally a woman
Ooh.
in Louisiana. Killed cops.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Bonnie from Bonnie and Clyde?
It's in the 1990s is when she died. 1995, I think.
Serial.
I can't remember. I don't know why.
1987.
I just imagine Fiona is like
Women.
the Ditto from from Detective Pikachu. where
Aileen
it's just
Wuornos?
Eileen Wuornos, yes. When was it? 1997?
I don't know. What were you saying, Dustin? I'm sorry.
Fiona's just like the muscle. She's just like the Ditto from Detective Pikachu.
Oh, dude, those things scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Like that's just Fiona. She's just like the enforcer.
She's just like break your arms.
She's just dressed up in a suit, and if she shows up, you know you're fine.
2002 she died.
She died in 2002?
By
Oh, but she
lethal
started
injection.
killing.
Oh, started
In the
killing?
90s.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Gotcha, okay.
Lethal injection.
That is definitely Fiona.
She'd be a serial killer, yeah.
She'd just be standard whore. Right now she's without a head.
Yeah.
Her head's being used for a monologue.
Yeah, when are we getting Fiona's head back?
Next Tuesday.
Yay.
It'll be shipped to us in a box.
I thought that just Joe was taking it.
Yeah.
Huh.
He did.
Where did he take it?
He took it home and he's like, I'm going to make videos.
Okay. Sure. We're gonna get the head shipped
Poor
back in a
Yark.
box. Tell the post office person, like, open it. Go on.
Put some fake blood on it and just be like,
There you go. Perfect.
ready to scare the crap out of people? Get almost arrested? Hypothetically.
Yeah, hypothetically getting arrested.
Just make
of course.
sure if you do fake blood, you put like a ton of like food flavoring stuff. So that way you can be
color.
like, taste the blood. Do it. I dare you.
See, it's just food color.
Or you can just
Plot
like,
twist, it's actually you taste it, it's like that's metallic as hell.
Uh-oh.
Hypothetically,
You just put iron filings into it.
Evil.
you just like soak it with nickels.
Evil.
Yeah, there you
Soak
go.
nickels in it.
Pennies.
Gross.
Ugh.
Like, drop a few pennies, some nickels, and some dimes.
Don't
in there
worry,
and
I
just-
could do that.
It's evil. You guys are all evil.
Yes.
You're all sick. And I think we need to wrap up this podcast pretty soon.
I
No.
think hypothetically we are done.
I think you might hypothetically be correct.
Hypothetically, I don't care what you think.
No, hypothetical sense, that's
Hypothetically,
really
wait,
that's
No,
really
what I'm
insensitive
hearing
of you.
is this podcast is, it's just hypothetical time travel.
It's just hypothetically going on forever.
It's
This is the part
hypothetically
of-
going away in 2 weeks.
This is the part of the podcast where everybody tries to think up the name of the podcast.
Oh yeah,
Just a
hypothetically.
Or
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, this is
It
the
is
longest
going on in 2
podcast, and let's
weeks.
make it 2 hours.
Should we warn people about that? Should we tell them we're going on hiatus?
Oh yes, we
Yeah.
should. And after this episode, we have 8 more episodes, and then we're going on a hiatus for 6 weeks.
Yep.
We're going
So
on vacation.
after
Gone for a little
episode
while.
20,
Yes.
We've been recording a lot of these and we're all going insane.
we'll probably
so-
remind you every episode after this. So.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, we will.
Agreed. Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
If we're hypothetically still in business.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Goodbye.
Plot twist. Okay, goodbye.
Plot twist.